this past game. I don't know. I say the first half. The first half minus 4 minutes. We thought, we came out from the start was really very dominant all the way up until we went in and waited for about 2.5 hours. A little bit frustrated with everything past that point, in that we thought we lost our edge. Now, don't get me wrong, there were a lot of good football plays, but there were 5 or 6 plays in that second run after the long break that just was not our standard of focus, communication, technique application, and that was frustrating. But it gave us some good teaching tape to get some things corrected. But all in all, I mean, we played very, very hard and was very effective in a lot of ways. I think they came in, obviously, trying to run the jet rocket sweep. They wanted to run that. They ran it many times, many different ways, and we were very successful, and our guys were very successful in stopping that. The second thing that we anticipated and saw was about every kind of screen you can imagine, and that was, we were very effective on the screen. So really what happened after the break was we got a totally new game plan. Now, we adjusted our game plan some too, and then wound up going back to the original one, just simply because of the simplicity of what we were doing. So that's kind of where that is. As far as the game this week, road game in the SEC. SEC games are difficult no matter where you play, but road games do take on a little different feel to it. Quite frankly, from a defensive standpoint, it's probably a little bit different offensively, but road games are a little bit easier to manage defensively than they are offensively. We don't have to deal with the crowd noise, and then it kind of brings us. It's just us. It's just us, and so we'll use it as a positive. But again, to end that. We always have a laundry list of corrections. This past game was no different. That's coaching. Some of those things that we didn't do so well, we have to get corrected before SEC play. Now, the thing about it is, the next game, there'll be some things we'll have to draw up on the sideline and get that corrected. That's just the nature of the way football is now. Sometimes it looks like Canadian League with 12 men out there and multiple guys in motion at the same time. It is what it is. Deal with it and play the next play.
How different is their offense? You hear a lot of talk about
Southern Miss's offense or Mississippi State's? Mississippi State's. There's similarities. I think probably the biggest difference from where I'm at this point of watching them is there's a little bit conceptual difference in the passing game. I think that's probably the thing that jumped out the most. The run game is really not that different in terms of what they're doing. There's a few little things that are different, but not for a major part.
What specifically would you have liked to see improved there in that second half, so to speak, of the game against Southern Miss?
Well, I thought we lost our eye discipline a couple of times. We had like on the double reverse pass. Everybody saw the sack. But on the double reverse pass where they reverse pitch back and they rocketed through and then reversed, and at one time there were 4 guys in the backfield counting the quarterback 5, and all of them were moving in opposite directions. Our eye discipline on that was not good. Now, the result of the play was minus 9 yards and a sack, so everybody says, great play. But from a teaching standpoint, there were 3 major teaching concepts there that helped us. I think the touchdown drive, the execution on the touchdown drive, there were 2 plays there. One of them was a real hard play. It was a hard to defend, but we didn't execute well on that particular play. And then probably the other thing that we had 2 plays that we've repped and we go against our offense where the little stutter and go, fake the screen and stutter and go kind of a wheel route. We didn't play through the defender. I think we thought we had gotten to a point where we were so good that we just were going unblocked. We just whipped the guy and just went past him. Well, that didn't happen. They get a hat on a hat, and you're not that good a player. You just didn't run by him. He ran by you. So that was probably just eye discipline.
What do you think of the play of Smoke Monday and Christian Side through 5 games right now for you?
Well, it's still a work in progress. It's a work in progress. They've had some very good plays. I think people forget we're ahead of the curve in quarterback pressures and sacks that we were this time last year. I think we got 1 more sack and we got like 9 more quarterback pressures. And 4 of those quarterback sacks are Richard Juniper's got 2 and Smoke Monday's got 2. Smoke is a good guy in terms of coverage. He's got a lot of range. He's a good blitzer. He plays the game with a high motor, and he's still learning, and he still is going to have to make mistakes. I mean, it's going to happen. So sometimes you have to watch the tape and close one eye until you can get him in there and get it corrected. But he's very teachable, and he's getting better every week. Christian is a little bit different in that he was at corner for the spring practice and early fall camp. Then we moved him to star, so he doesn't have that much time under his belt at star, but he's progressing nicely. He's very, very intelligent. He's highly competitive, and that's the thing that probably makes it easy.
Kevin, Jordan Peters has become playmaker, special teams, doing a good job on defense. How much have you seen him progress, kind of settling into that spot?
Well, he's a smart guy, and he's got more football under his belt than people realize that he's got. I mean, he's been in the big games at the big moments, so it's not too big for him. And he's still, he's a young, and there's still a learning curve there, but he's progressing nicely.
When you got I'm sorry, go ahead.
How was Jaden Sherwood coming along?
Well, Sherwood is a really, really smart guy. He's a very, very good tackler, and he's physical. He's a big guy that's physical, plays with good balance and body control. I think you guys have noticed, I mean, we've made a commitment on the back end, which is probably pretty rare, that none of those 3 guys are starters, actually. But they're playing early in games, and they're playing often, simply because they deserve to play. They're good players. There's still a learning curve there. Each time we come off of a drive, there's something for Christian, there's something for Jamie, there's something for Smoke that we've got to go back over and make sure they understand. But they're progressing at a high rate. They're still young, they still make mistakes, but they're good football players.
When you mentioned going on the road, when you have a front 7 that has so many veterans on it, how much does that help when you go into a game like this after a non-conference game? Just as far as trying to get.
I mean, it doesn't matter what the game was before.
Right.
All right, that's.
I'm just saying home game.
Yeah, your home game. We got a lot of guys in our room that, in fact, there's 13 guys that's been doing it for 3 years, and so they're good leaders. They've got good work ethic, good practice ethic, and that they teach those young guys. So it helps stabilize everything. I mean, it's a big plus.
Yeah, you're talking about getting off the field on 3rd down, one of the big keys for defense. You guys
Yeah.
are 5th in the country right now.
Yeah.
What's been the key for you guys in being so successful?
I think probably the biggest thing is that we do have a front that can rush the passer, and affect the quarterback. I think you said 5th in the country. So I mean, that's hard to do at any level. But we've been very effective on 3rd down, and because of that I think the biggest thing is that we've got a group of guys with Denson and JD and those guys, Daniel, that we can mix up coverages. We're probably, off the top of my head, I think I know exact. I know it's exact now. We're about 38% pressure on 3rd down, so we're mixing it up. In years past, we've had to either really be heavy zone or heavy man, just to try to create something, and we don't have to do that now. We can mix things up, and it's afforded us the opportunity to be, like you said, to have success with it. I think we're at 75%, which is puts you fifth in the country. It's hard to do. It's hard to do.
And then the key to that first, second down run defense, how important is that, especially this
Yeah.
one, Mississippi State?
Well, I mean, we've played very efficiently on the run defense. Now, there's another play. You just made me think of, everybody thinks about the good things. And yeah, we are, I don't know, I don't even know what we are in rush defense. It's up there. We've been effective in it. And so I think the big thing is that it starts with the D-line. It starts with experienced linebackers, and then those safeties fit in the run. But then, again, the one that just unglues me is we have a rookie mistake the other day, and I think they rushed for 57 yards, and 24 it was on one play, and we've got a rookie there that, I mean, he's got a routine play. All he's got to do is fit the B gap, and he just lost his eyes and didn't do it, and that's what happens. It's a great teaching moment, and it was not when you only have 57 yards rushing total. Okay, that's we got it done. We won the game. But in the next 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 weeks, you can't allow that to happen. And so it was a good teaching moment there.
Yeah, that a big moment for your defense there when they got within that one possession. Deshaun was talking a lot about how guys they're talking on the sideline, let's get going. And next 3 possessions for them, they had -9 yards. Some of those penalties, and of course you had the interception to kind of seal
Right.
it. What's that say about your defense, and also what was going through your guys' minds?
Well,
when they get to one
the first thing it says is you lost your edge because we shouldn't have had to get going. We should have been going. That's the first thing it says. And that was what I started with at the very beginning. And that after the long break, I thought we lost our edge. And there were some good teaching points in that when we did lose our edge. And then they realized that, we better go back and start this thing over like we did. And really we're, from that point on in the game, dominant.
Is it good to have a teachable wake-up moment like that?
No.
No?
No.
So you want
No.
to have to teach it?
No. You don't need, pardon me?
Was that most you Curtis played yesterday?
No, I don't think so. I mean, it was close.
How
But
has he progressed?
he's progressing. He missed a lot of time with that injury, so it's a work in progress. But Newkirk is a talent. He's a big man, strong man. He's athletically very, very impressive. He's just raw in terms of playing the position. People forget he was a quarterback and tailback in high school. It's a little bit different being a 3 technique in the SEC.
You mentioned the sacks and the pressures and how you feel like you're doing pretty well in terms of pass rush. How have you seen that take shape this year? It seems like there's a lot more guys that are getting involved in the pass rush than maybe in the past.
Yeah, well, we're playing a lot more guys, and then I think probably the thing that we've got those 4 guys up front that can rush the passer, and so we can do it with a 4-man rush unless when they start max and protecting, then you kind of say you kind of get the noise from different people that what's going on with our pass rush. Well, they got 7 guys blocking 4. It's it's kind of like when I went to see a game with my son was playing at Valdosta, and the guy behind me was yelling, "Hey, well, come on, offensive line." Well, my son had to be an offensive lineman. There's 5 offensive linemen. They were bringing 6, but the offensive line was supposed to block them 6. They were free release in the back, but it was all on the offensive line. Well, sometimes things aren't really what they think they are. And yes, I did tell the guy.
Mississippi State, they've struggled offensively the last 2 games. But from earlier in the season, what did you see out of them in those games, especially on the road at Kansas State when they got Nick Fitzgerald back?
Yeah, well, they're a very talented offense. They got running back, they got wide receiver, they're big, strong, powerful in the offensive line. They got an SEC offensive line. Their quarterback's been playing a long time. He's a very good player. So they got a complete group. I think what happened is they played 2 really good teams in Florida and Kentucky, and they, things just didn't unfold like they probably thought it was going to. But it does not mean that they're not fully capable of winning games in this league and winning even the games that they lost.
You kind of mentioned at the beginning about going on the road and making it positive. Have you seen teams in the the first instance road trip can bring the group together? Is that something to think about?
I never thought of it like that. I really don't know. I mean, from a defensive standpoint, we kind of like road games. So I can't speak from a whole team thing, but defensively, it's just you know, and so they don't really ring the bells when they're on offense. So, the bell thing is not a big deal for us. Now, for the other side, you got to worry about the bells. Anything else? All right.